So here we are back again, unfortunately, going through some more headlines, and of course everything is just, it's exploding. It is. And we only see small numbers. We're only seeing small numbers because there's a lot of factors that are affecting our data collection to get these numbers out properly. And to get them through the proper channels, to get them to the people who are going to report it, and officially make it available to the public. There's a lot of variables, for sure. We don't know a lot of things. But these cruise ships, or this, specifically this one, but there's the cruise ships. Let me get into that for him. So yeah, I got so much information here. It's gonna be hard to unpack it all. So you're gonna have to forgive me if I pause and I space out for just overflowing. And yeah, so I'm also nicely toasted on the keys. So we got 65 more cases on this cruise. 65 more on the Diamond, so that brings it up to 135. Now, there's other people that are saying, I don't know. There's different numbers coming at everything. All right, so let's go back to the cruise ship from yesterday. The one that that was in Japan as well, and they were allowed to get off. They allowed everyone to get off, and let's just go check out this video right quick about what this chief health officer for the Hong Kong Health Department. Okay, back. That's what he says. All cruise ship crew members, more than 1,800 have tested negative for coronavirus. Very interesting, to say the least. And I'll get into that.
1,800多個嘅樣本咧，全部咧都係對新型冠狀病毒呈陰性反應嘅。咁
Looks down at his paper.
我哋衛生署對世界夢號郵輪所作嘅衛生檢疫措施咧，已經全部完結晒啦。咁所以咧喺船上面嘅乘客同埋船上
All passengers crew can disembark. All right. So they tested 1,800 people, right? And the reason why they tested 1,800 people is because there was passengers on the past voyage or the past cruise that were in fact now infected with this. They got off the ship and they went and got checked and they had it. Okay, now there's big discrepancies in numbers about how many people were actually infected on that. Now, BBC is reporting some 3,600 passengers and crew in the World Dream were quarantined amid some fears staff could have contracted the virus on a previous voyage. So, yeah, there was cases on there, and now the numbers don't add up. Forbes here is reporting the World Dream cruise ship was quarantined in Hong Kong Wednesday after 3 former passengers tested positive. Okay, they're saying 3 former passengers on this one. Business Insider is saying previously carried 8 infected passengers who tested positive for the coronavirus after they disembarked on 4th. So these people tested positive on January 24th after they disembarked, right? So after they got off the cruise ship, 8 people tested for this. And then the cruise ship, picked up some more people and they went on a cruise. This one. So let's see. BBC does say 3 as well. Yeah, here it is here. Why was the ship quarantined? The World Dream was put in quarantine on Wednesday after it emerged that 3 passengers who had sailed from a previous voyage. So there's 3 there. Okay, they say there's 3 there. They say there's 3 here. They say there's 8 here. Okay. And let's go see what they say over here. Just one sec, I gotta pull it back up. Time Magazine, let me see. Time Magazine is reporting 8. Well, it's here somewhere. And it is in the other. Yeah, Los Angeles Times. The ship, which was turned away from Taiwan after the revelation that it had carried at least 8 infected passengers. At least 8. You have 2 news saying 3, and you have 2 news saying 8. Okay, but why this is important is because they just let that ship go. There is, in fact, most likely people infected on there, because if there was 8 people, at least they say, okay, let's say 3. Okay, even if we say there was 3 infected people, let's just go and say what who knows? We'll take the lower number. So 3 people, they would have definitely 100% passed it on to somebody else. Guaranteed. At least one of those 3 people in a group would have at least passed it on to one other person. 100%. Those 3 people would have passed it on to more people. Oh, this is like, because the RO value on this is estimated at 3.6, but actually now that's a conservative number. There's a new study out that says 4.08. World Health Organization, when they first announced it in their technical briefing last week, they said it was anywhere between 1.3 to 4.9, which is either nothing at all or just off the fucking charts, really. But they did this other study, and it came out that they predicted it to be pretty close to a 4. So that means that one person who has this will infect 4 people. One person will infect 4. That's how an RO value works. That's how you know how strong a virus is or how transmissive it is. When you have these people who are infected, they are shedding the virus like a dog sheds fur, and it's just everywhere. Really, if you had like the fluffiest dog and like, you know what I mean, like, pretend that the virus is the fur coming off the dog, and the dog's going everywhere and just shedding. That's exactly how this is working, right? And they shed the virus, and other people come in contact with it. If you've ever gone to a friend's house who has a dog, you're covered in dog hair, right? It'd be the same thing if you go to somebody's house who has this, covered in the infection. It's exactly the same. That's the best analogy that I can come up with about how, the flu, like what they're calling the flu, is usually around a 1.3, and it's not very transmissive. Yeah, it happens, but it's not very much. It's like a short-haired dog. They shed a little bit, but not very much. But then, you know, you get somebody with like a great big dog who just sheds all the time, you know, that's like a 4, right? Because it's just everywhere. And everything you touch, right? It lives on surfaces. The scientists, well, they say up to 9 days based on other coronaviruses. But persistence of coronaviruses on inanimate surfaces and its inactivation with biological agents, meaning this is they were studying how to kill it and disinfect so that, you know, kill the virus on surfaces. And they say alcohol, 70% alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and hypochlorite, sodium hypochlorite. But scientists predict that coronavirus may live up to 9 days on surfaces. But that's just an estimate based upon other coronaviruses. And that's surfaces such as glass, plastic, metal, for up to 9 days. And this work was published in the Journal of Hospital Infection, which looked at 22 historical studies based upon past coronaviruses. So we know this one's a little stronger than past coronaviruses. We know that the RO value is high, which would in turn, you know, definitely come into play that if this was on a package, you could definitely get infected with it. If, you know, if it was on your hands and you touch your face. Now, what's also extremely worrying, and I just found this this morning, and you couldn't get this through the eyes. Your eyes can pick up the virus and infect you through the eyes. You don't have to breathe. This is through the Lancet. This is as good as it gets. This is a published paper, and it says transmission through the ocular surface must not be ignored. So meaning your eyes, ocular. So infectious droplets and bodily fluids can easily contaminate the human and conjectural epithelium. We'll just say it's your eyes. Respiratory viruses are capable of inducing ocular complications in infected patients, which then leads to respiratory infection. So you can get this through the eyes and it can infect your respiratory system. Really, really freaky. So Challen and his colleagues reported epidemiology symptoms and treatment of patients infected by the coronavirus in Wuhan, China. As an ophthalmologist, we believe that transmission through the eyes was ignored. There was very early reports that came out that said this here, you can catch it. It's there. Go check it, right? And this is a published. The Lancet is, I guess, a platform for medical and published papers. Yeah, it's real. This isn't just a study. This was published. So, on January 22nd, a member of the National Expert Panel on Pneumonia reported that he was infected by the 19 coronavirus. We'll just call it the NCP, because that's what they're naming it now. It's like the N, novel, and then C, corona, and P for pneumonia. So it's the novel coronavirus pneumonia. NC. That's what they officially designated it as now. Or so I read, but that's they gave it that designation. But anyways, this fellow here, he was a member of the National Expert Panel on Pneumonia, January 22nd. So this was the early days, and this is kind of when I read about it too. So during the inspection in Wuhan, he wore his mask, his N95 mask, but did not wear anything to protect his eyes. Several days before the onset of pneumonia, he complained of redness in the eyes. Unprotected exposure of the eyes in the Wuhan fever clinic might have allowed the virus to infect his body. This is no fucking question in my mind. Nothing that came out of nature. It's just vicious. Really, it is. And it's not meant to freak anybody out. It's not meant to panic anybody. And am I 100% right? No. Am I like 98-ish% right? You're goddamn right. That's where I'm at. And in any kind of situation, you would definitely kind of try to follow a percentage to say, okay, well, how much of this would be possible? I've been following this for so long. I really have. And I'm just going to play a little something for you. Because I'm not the only one who thinks of it. Okay. I want you to pay attention to what Mr. Cotton has to say on this subject. And he is a senior official in the US cabinet. Tom Cotton. And he's the only one really saying something. Right? Republican Senator Tom Cotton suggests that the Wuhan coronavirus originated in the Chinese super lab. I have I can very much agree with that. Just considering that the way this virus is behaving. And I've been following it, and I've been reading the medical and all these reports. It's completely fucking baffling. They really have no idea. But it's vicious. And it's obviously killing way more fucking people. And I'll get into that later, because there is a phone call conversation where a reporter posed as a senior official in the Chinese government and was talking to one of the funeral home directors and asking if they needed anything, and basically saying, what can we do to help you? And in that conversation, a lot of information comes out. And it's only one of the crematoriums, one of the 56, I think, one of the 56 crematoriums. And she said she alone burning 125 bodies a day is maxed out as they, and she's really understaffed, blah 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 blah. It's, you know what I mean, and it's done by like a news agency, so it's legit, or as legit as you could possibly get. Right? This thing isn't what you think it is. As much as people are trying to say, well, no, we don't really know, and we don't really know, but what we really know is the gravity of the situation, the actions being taken on every level of every country in the world. This is beyond a magnitude that most people aren't seeing because they're just not paying that much close attention to it. And that's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to go business as usual because they have no fucking idea how to stop this. They really don't. They're trying to figure out what they can do to learn more about it. Yes, because we know absolutely nothing. Really, of the science side of things, we don't know nothing. Very little. Watch this. I will be right back, but I'll leave you with this.
I would note that Wuhan also has China's only biosafety level 4 super laboratory that works with the world's most deadly pathogens, to include, yes, coronavirus. They also claimed for almost 2 months, until earlier this week, that it had originated in a seafood market in Wuhan, that locals had contracted it from animals in, say, bat soup or snake tartare. That is not the case. The Lancet published a study last weekend demonstrating that of the original 40 cases, 14 of them had no contact with the seafood market, including patient 0. As one epidemiologist said, that virus went into the seafood market before it came out of the seafood market. We still don't know where it originated. Could have been another seafood market. Could have been a farm. Could have been a food processing company. I would note that Wuhan also has China's only biosafety level 4 super laboratory that works with the world's most deadly pathogens to include, yes, coronavirus. Yet China is still lying about all of this. They've been lying about it from the very beginning, and you don't need their history of lying about SARS in 2003, though it is relevant here. You just have to see what's happened over the last 2 months. We now know that the first case manifested no later than December 1, even though China didn't reveal it to the WHO until a month later on December 31st, when they continued to hide it from their own citizens. And they continued to say that it had been contained inside Wuhan. Today, it is in every single province in China. Also, while you're sleeping, China now has its entire border with Russia closed. 2,600 miles, Russia has closed that border. El Al has shut down travel between Israel and China. Air France has shut down travel between China and France. And that's in addition to all the other countries that have already shut down travel. From what we know so far, and there's still many unknowns,
sorry about that,
this virus could have both a long incubation period, as much as 14 days, and individuals could be contagious while asymptomatic, which was not the case with SARS in 2003. I want to talk about the biggest and the most important story in the world, the Wuhan coronavirus. This coronavirus is a catastrophe on the scale of Chernobyl for China. But actually, it's probably worse than Chernobyl, which was localized in its effect. The coronavirus could result in a global pandemic. While you were all sleeping overnight, the number of diagnosed cases in China increased by 30%. Now, let me be clear, that's not new cases, that is just newly admitted cases. It is probably several orders of magnitude higher than that. Now, look at China's own actions. They have quarantined 60 million people, 60 million, more than the entire population of our West Coast. They've shut down schools indefinitely. Classes canceled nationwide indefinitely. Hong Kong, a part of China, has basically shut down all travel from the mainland. That's why it is essential that we immediately stop all travel on commercial aircraft between China and the United States. Making exceptions, of course, for American citizens to come back, as we just brought back yesterday, allowing essential trade to flow as long as crews on ships and aircraft are not allowed to go into the general population in America, and making exceptions, of course, for medical personnel to go into China to try to get a handle on this.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff, right? So let's go check out even where to start. Okay, so this is what he's saying. There is another person saying this, and he's an exiled Chinese billionaire, and he currently lives in the United States. He's a realtor, real estate developer, and he got into he had issues with the Chinese government way back when. Anyways, he took off, and yeah, he took off and basically exiled to the US. And he's a kind of a shady fella, right? He's a weird fellow, but he's right on the money here, right? This guy is like a legit billionaire. Like he's still a realtor developer in the States, right? Let's just listen to what he has to say on it, because we got to take it in.
Wuhan totally, it's the 49, the 24 hours work, they burn the dead body.
Hold on. Yeah.
They burn the dead body. Every day is 1,200. They work at, more than 17 days. Only Wuhan. But now they are is in the megapolis. It's currently out of China is 250 million people. How many people really get confirmed case? And this is outbreak. But this is the outbreak in half China, 200 million people. So I get inside information. Is the truth is 1.5 million people is is the not only emotion, is the confirmed case, and that's the people now is the burned body more than 50,000, not 30,000 to the now.
More than 50,000, and he says 1.5 million infected, confirmed. That's what the Chinese government knows. 1.5 million. So, and we know the numbers are wrong because they can't even test. They can't. They don't have the test kits. They don't have the supplies. They don't have the manpower. They don't have nothing. Now we're going to go right to the conversation with the funeral director. Okay. And it's a little wild conversation, but it's worth listening to. If you want to be informed and you want to kind of see what's really fucking going on, well, I'll show you. I will do my best. Yeah, no, it's way back. Yeah. So I gotta go and make some lunch for my little fella. But check this out. I'm gonna leave it here, and like it's a little while, but this is an undercover reporter, disguised as like a higher up Chinese official calling the funeral home, right? So it sure as fuck it's as authentic as you could ever want, right? As far as I'm concerned. So take it as you will, right? Make your own choices. Make your own choices.
How many people have died since the coronavirus outbreak in China began, really? And what's the true situation in Wuhan City, the epicenter of the outbreak? This investigative report by NTD aims to find out.
It's a tale of two cities. Wuhan, the biggest city in central China, is bearing the heaviest weight amid the novel coronavirus outbreak. According to the World Health Organization and China state media, this is the place where massive disease control measures are being taken. But anecdotal evidence and online videos from Wuhan tell a different story. Among the mysteries revolving around the outbreak, two questions are critical. How many lives has the virus claimed? And how many of those lives are only known to local officials and hidden from the rest of the world? On February 4th, NTD's undercover investigator talked with executives from some of Wuhan's biggest funeral homes. The conversations show a simple yet heart-wrenching fact. The math simply doesn't add up. The number of bodies being cremated just doesn't match the government's figure by a large margin.
我是这个中央督察组的，我这网友发啊。你好。对，你好，是这样的，我呢是抽查一下，问一下，就现在的这个疫情啊，我们看着还在向上涨。你们现在这个工作量，你们目前啊完成上可以吧？就是目前的工作量，你们现在感觉到怎么样？还可以完成，对吧？ 如果再增加，压力很大，压力很大，压力很大。领导，你要是听真话还是听假话？你当然要说实话了。我们实话，我就跟领导说，我现在我本人都要快崩溃了。哦，你讲讲看，为什么？我现在压力非常大。 那为什么呢？你们现在的
我上级重视这个问题，现在的重心都在医院这块，
对
我们这块被人遗忘了。我们现在每天的运气量和火化量是平时的4到5倍。我们的人员从春节前到现在，人头上没有休息。
哦，就是。
而且还得不到人员的补充。
那你现在说4到5倍是一天，像昨天你有多少？
我这个数字我不好跟你说，因为我不知道你的真实身份。你光一个电话，我这个按照上级的要求，这个数字不许随便说。
对，我知道。
你的真实身份。
这可以理解。
可以说具体的数字。
我现在就问你啊，我就是想了解这情况，然后呢，看你们人员需要多少。
请你向我们的心理组织程序去询问，因为你现在是一个电话，我按上级的要求，我不能随便透露数字。
可以，你
只能给你讲个大概的情况。
好，你现在就给我讲个大概的情况，我现在就是需要了解。
情况我刚才已经给你讲了，现在的业务量是平时的4到5倍。
哦，4到5倍，那你这个业务量是从什么开始？你是从什么时候开始有这么紧张的？
从腊月的29，这个数量就不断在上升。
你说的就是说
已经达到最高峰。
昨天达到最高分。
已经达到最高峰。
你说什么时候达到最高分？
昨天是最高峰了。
你说的腊月29是12月29是吧？
腊月29应该是元月23吧，23、22号开始人数就感觉不对头了，这个人数就上升了，有点猛了。
哦，那你们现在是这个每天是3班倒吗？
不叫3班倒，领导，哪有人3班倒啊？我现在能够排2班倒都不错了。
哎呦，
我在这个地方已经是每天能够睡上2、3个小时，已经是很幸福的了。
哎呦，那是你们辛苦了。那现在你看，如果说给你们增加人员的话，需要多少人可以满足目前的这个量？
增加人员。如果按照昨天的那个量的话，至少要给我增加40到50个人。
40到50个人，那你们现在有多少人？
我现在有110多人。
哦，110多人。你们一共有多少个炉子？
我的炉子设备共有18台，但是能够使用的只有11台。
11台。
能够使用的只有11台。
那你这一个
为什么只有11台？就是他妈的一帮人期待我本来招标，搞的，最后他妈一帮他妈的，反正不差点我们坚决支持，但是不能他妈的那一帮人无视是妈的这是管，算了，我不想跟你多说了。
你这样，
搞到我们设备没有。
哦。
我们基层那底下难了。
那你那些11台可以工作，那是不能工作的是坏了吗？还能不能修？
有的坏了。有的是完全不能修了。前天好不容易通过市指挥部从外地找了2个维修工过来，你知道现在封城。
我跟你说，我马上派人来给你维修炉子。你现在是需要什么？我问你，你现在需要什么？除了需要人40几个人，还有什么？
需要人。我现在就差人，我的人太疲倦了，太疲乏了。
对，
完全得不到休息。你刚才还说3班倒，我现在2班倒都做不到了。
哎呦，那你这2班倒24小时，那就一班就得要10几个小时啊。
我的人员都没回家了，领导啊。
哎呦，那你现在一个人一个炉子要几个人看？是一个人看就行了吗？
我一个人要管几台炉子。我火化工加上维修的总共才是12个人。
那你刚才不是说你有100多个人吗
？100多人，还有些女同志。我现在车队那边，我9台车，每台车配4个人，2班倒。领导你算算，我全管的男同志全部去接运尸体了。
那你一台车能当？
同志都去搞调度、接电话、消毒。
那你一台车一次能拉几个人啊？
以前一台车拉1个人的。
现在呢？
我们现在把里面的隔的那些东西给拆掉了，再少拉2个。然后把我的那个以前不是殡葬车的中巴车，把椅子卸掉，一次拉7、8个。
哦，这样的话，那你11台炉子那你这11台炉子那是少了一点。那一台炉子，那处理一个尸体需要多少时间啊？ 50分钟。哦，那能不能缩到半个小时？这个能不能缩短？
说不了。
人家有些地方说是45分钟，40多分钟就可以了嘛。
那我不知道人家的设备是怎么回事。
哦，你们的50分钟。
烧到50分钟。
对，50分钟，那也是够忙的了。哎呀，那你这个真是够忙的了。
我不是说我都要崩溃了，就是这样。
那你原来正常的情况下不需要晚上值夜班的嘛，对不对？
以前按照武汉市的习俗，12点钟以前要落帐，所以说我们都是从一大清早上6点多钟开始上班，
对，
火化，到中午就不干了。
哦，对。
现在的情况是怎么样？我告诉您的，遗体接应起来立即火化不停。
哎呀，那真是现在够忙。还有一个，那你现在每天能不能现在拉来的能不能完成？有没有积压下来放到第2天做的？
火化的积压的这个情况还不是太严重。主要是那个遗体在医院的，我们接应不及时。
哦，就是车少。
后来那个什么，我们武汉市的狗屁书记拔个枪，还说什么要我们在1个半小时把遗体拉完，拉得了吗？让他去书记去那拉一下试一下。
哎呀，那是应
狗屁官僚主义。
那至少这个你们书记应该。
现在给我们下指标，要纪委的督查我们。医院病人死了以后，要我们1个半小时以内把遗体拉走。
对，那是。
能做得到吗？
那你叫他派车来啊！你叫他派车拉过来嘛，你们负责烧嘛。
我们没人要车没车。
那你叫那个书记，你说你给我拉个人过来。
是书记。
你说你叫他派车送过来，你说我们没车，我们烧可以，但是拉着没那么多车，那他。
我不怕光，我的局长怕光。他敢去说吗？
哎呀，所以说这些事情，可是你们书记给我们汇报的，说是你们是保证完成，而且现在还是有潜力。
狗屁，他妈的！
那这。
我要该枪毙！我这是一个基层党员，凭党性跟你说的话。
对。我相信你，我相信。昨天你们拉了多少车，跑了多少趟？
不好说多少车，我真的不好说多少车。这基本的组织原则我还是要。
没关系，你不说不要紧的。我至少我应该给你很快解决人来。第2个，叫你们书记给你派车来，增加些。你说现在你这情况，你们需要增加多少辆车？
我们现在主要是人力的问题，车给我增加这3、4辆都可以了，我的人现在受不了了。
人给你增加40-50个人。
1小时，人不停的去翻运接人。
哎呦！
我们现在所有的人去男同志全部投上去了，只要人家他妈的人动的都上去了。
哦，那你们这个1月20号以前，是不是还可以嘛？对吧？
1月20号以前还可以。情况不是太严重，但是这个数字是一直在向上走。那
上走数字增加是从什么时候？从12月份，12月20号差不多就开始了，10几号。
应该在元月的10几号开始就已经那个数字就有点不太正常了。
昨天其实还
是最高峰值。
我跟你讲，昨天还不是最高，现在还在往上升。所以我为什么我要打电话来问问你们的承受能力呢？就是这个原因。
我真的是承受不了了。我昨天跟我的局长说，我说我就哪要疯了，我自己要去跳楼了。我说你给我下的这些任务我真完成不了。我说什么医院里面人死了以后，这是我们马书记说的啊，人死了以后30分钟内医院完成消毒打包，公安部门30分钟内完成给家属的什么手续同意立即火化，民政部门30分钟把遗体接走。什么狗屁出现，有点常识没有啊？武汉市这几个殡仪馆呢，我们管的范围多大？我的车开过去半个小时到不了。对呀，
你知道他们其他几个殡仪馆情况怎么样？
只会比我差，不会比我好。
你跟他有沟通吗？
有沟通啊。
你最近跟哪个殡仪馆沟通过？
我跟汉口殡仪馆沟通过，他现在的业务量比我还大，他的压力比我还大。
你说是哪一个殡仪馆？
武汉市汉口殡仪馆。
他的还比你们压力还大。
他的量比我还大。
他们是这个服务范围是哪几个医院呢？
他服务是汉口片的，就是武汉市、
对，
江岸、江汉、桥口、中西湖区，然后武汉市第一批定点的23家定点医院，他承担了8家。
除了这个医院之外，有没有这个就是社区直接给你们拉来的？有些倒在路上的，他就不一定去医院了，对不对？
有，前几天我做了个统计数据。我们最近这个就是前几天数据啊，数据不代表这几天。这几天医院的就医情况有所改善。前几天我做了个统计，38%是医院接来的。61%是在家里死亡的。
38 were from hospitals and 61% died at home. And only 8% are being classified as.
所以说这个就医的情况很不好，前几天。
对。
你想想，60%都在家里死的。
哎呦。
当然，这个家里死的不一定是这个肺炎啊，也其他我说的这个数字。没有区分肺炎和非肺炎的，
现在大部分都是。
武汉市这帮狗官把这个城市管理的一塌糊涂。
是有些问题。哎呀，真的是你们辛苦了啊！你们辛苦了，我们尽快的要叫他们尽快的解决这些问题。好，辛苦了。
谢谢。
好。
以上我所说的是凭着一个共产党员的党性说出来的。
知道了。好，那就这样。好，辛苦了，多保重。
谢谢领导关心。
The strong reaction from the other side of the phone clearly speaks to how desperate the true situation is. But our investigator wanted to know more exact numbers, so he called again.
你好，刚才我们通过电话，我放下电话呢，对，我放下电话呢，就跟你们这个市里的领导，讲了一下情况，让他们赶紧派车来。他们倒是答应尽快给你派车来，但是呢，他们也说一个情况，我在想，可能这情况有时候可能沟通不够啊。他说呢，你们昨天呢，倒不至于那么忙嘛，说可能你那里也就40-50个，不至于忙成那个样子。我就现在要核实一下，是不是这样的？
领导，你能不能派人实际到我这儿来？别问我，到我车队的调动室查我们的。派车
单。现在是这样的啊。
看一看我的人头查体，我每一具遗体从哪个医院拖过来的，几点钟拖的，几点钟火化的。
对，
领导。
对，我现在是给。
相信这猫这些狗官。
对，现在是这样的啊。为什么中央就派我们这个督查组到这儿来？就是因为有些情况我们了解不到，这些领导有时候他为了当地的这个工作啊，这个成绩啊，这个形象啊，他有时候给我们不一定说真实情况，所以呢，我们要实地来找你们基层的问一下，就这个原因。所以我跟
你负责任的说，昨天是我们最多的一天。
昨天是多少？你能不能告诉我一下？他说40多个，不到50个，是不是这样的？
我就姑且相信你一下。
你说。
我昨天总共接运的遗体。
And they're all working at capacity. There's 56 crematoriums all working at capacity. It's crazy. And these numbers, is it real? It sure seems like it, because this person is posing as a senior official in the Chinese government and is an undercover investigator, and he's calling the funeral home, and she wasn't given numbers and she wasn't supposed to report numbers, but he's convinced her enough to the point where she feels comfortable, and now she's released the numbers from her place. And this is only one crematorium. There's 56.
127个。烧掉了116个。
OK。
然后确诊数，确诊的。确诊数是8个，我拖在这127个中间。
Among the 127 picked up, only 8 were confirmed cases of pneumonia based on their death certificate. So that's what gets reported, right? The death certificate. There's only 8.
根据死亡证书上面标明的确诊的8个，写的疑似并疑似的。
48 suspected cases as written on their death certificate. 48 suspected. I have all the death certificates in my hands.
48个。我这是全部有死亡证书在我手上的。
哦，好，我知道了。行，那他们还是说了一半。哎呀，就是说出呀，他就是觉得好像是他们工作做的都很到家了啊。下面呢，有时候是抱怨啊，这个好像是，我知道你们很辛苦啊，你们在中间也确实，你们一线工作很不容易。这些领导呢，他也不见得了解真实情况。行，那我知道了。
真的需要中央重视。
好，你放心好了。好。
他们这样搞下去，这个不敢想象了。
是啊，行，我知道了。好，
谢谢您的关心。
谢谢啊，好。
Sure as hell seems real to me, right? Okay, so now let's go look at some facts. Okay, you know, let's go look at some mainstream media facts. All right, and it's not that I'm totally shitting on the mainstream media for but they have nothing to go on as well, because the World Health Organization has nothing to go. But what we do know is the people on these ships are just getting more and more infected, and this thing is viciously hard. Like, it's spreading ridiculously fast. They're saying now that it's aerosol, that it's through the air, and you can also catch this through the eyes. The masks are not going to help you. You need a full respirator, self-contained. This thing is beyond. And what we're hearing are milder cases, right? And that's what they keep saying. They keep saying, well, the numbers are milder cases. They progress. They do. And they know this now. You can get this, and then you'll start to feel better. You'll start to feel better for some time. And if you're in the hospital, then you're getting extra treatment, you're going to get better faster. But it comes back on a second wave. How do I know this? But the second wave is when you start to develop the pneumonia, right? And you don't know, you'll just get little symptoms. You might not even, you just brush it off as nothing, all right? You'll just brush this off and think, it's just a little runny nose or, sore throat or something that goes away. And it comes back. And that you get from after that stage, that's when your organs start shutting down and you get pneumonia. This is caused, the way this thing kills you is it's from multi-organ failure and not just pneumonia. This thing, not natural. It can't be. It can't. Nature doesn't evolve like that. Nature doesn't take huge jumps on the evolutionary curve. They don't. It's a gradual curve. Evolution happens at a steady pace. It doesn't spike. It doesn't. And the scientists know this, right? But they can't figure it out. They can't determine exactly anything about it. And that's the worst thing. They know what's going on. Well, they know what's going on now. They're starting to get an idea because they just landed. For the first time, we only got boots on the ground in China. Can you believe this? And I'm not fucking shitting you. We just got our experts to go in there just today. They officially arrived today in China to see this firsthand instead of just taking China's word for whatever they're saying. Right? Now we got boots on the ground. And that's confirmed by the World Health Organization. This here is Dr. Tedros. And he is the Director General of the World Health Organization. And let's just see. Forward. Oh yeah, they just landed today anyway. But can you imagine that we're just putting boots on the ground today in China to see this firsthand?
Up here because that goes in.
Okay, more about but yeah, anyways, they did just get boots on the ground, right? And we're only seeing this firsthand right now, except for what we're seeing on the cruise ships. Cruise ships, well, we know that while there's one that's definitely infected, the other one is probably most likely infected, the one that they let everybody off. Go back in the stream, I kind of show you how that transpires. Now where am I at? There's just so much information, I don't even know where to start. Okay, let's go. Well, you can get this thing through the eyes, right? You can catch it through the eyes. Transmission through the ocular surface must not be ignored. This is based on the first couple of cases. So yeah, January 22nd. This was a member of the National Expert Panel on Pneumonia, and he got infected during the inspection in Wuhan. So, yeah, he was wearing a mask, but did not wear anything to protect his eyes. Several days before the onset pneumonia, Wang complained of redness of the eyes. Unprotected exposure to the eyes, Wuhan corona fever, allowed the virus to infect the body. And this is from the Lancet. This is published paper. And what else do we have? We got transmission, asymptomatic transmission. This is from the New England Journal of Medicine. All right. Now, the patient on this here was not completely asymptomatic. She's just like, it was very mild, like super mild symptoms on talking to her again, but still, she was well enough that she could perform her business meeting and be of no really cause to her daily routine, right? It wasn't, but I guess she just felt, a little off. Anyways, so this here, she was actually, transmission appears to have occurred during the incubation period in the index patient. So before this thing affects you and starts making you sick, you are actually infectious to other people without even knowing it. And there's now super spreaders. They have confirmed super spreaders. And what are super spreaders? People who shed a ridiculous amount of virus. It sounds disgusting. It's like a shedding dog. If you want to, if you had a really dog that sheds a lot and the fur just gets everywhere and on everything, and if you go to your friend's house, it's all over you and all over your car and everywhere. The same thing. That's what a super shedder does, or super spreader does. This here's the Daily Mail. This thing is epic. I promise you, nature doesn't do shit like this. I'm just telling you, it's fucking evil. And that's not to freak anybody out. So don't freak out. Fucking just like it's real. So you're gonna just have to eventually fucking absorb this. You know, whether you want to or not. But it's information. Let's hope it's really not. But oh my god, it's every red flag in the world is pointing that this thing is not natural. Even if it's not natural, or even if I should say, even if it is natural, well, holy fuck, nature, you are scary. And yes, I swear sometimes, and that. So this here is about the case in the ski lodge. If you're following everything, so 2 of UK's 8 coronavirus cases are healthcare workers who were holidaying with super spreader businessman at French ski resort. General practitioner surgery closes and staff hunt for infected patients. What? You're gonna see some fucking headlines, and you know what? They're not really gonna talk about it a whole bunch because they don't have any real information on it yet, and they don't have answers. But they're trying not to engage the public because the public's going to start asking questions and they're not going to be able to provide answers. They don't want that, you know, and they're very good at deflecting, you know, conversation. These guys are fucking skilled at that, right? They are doctors and they're trained and beyond. It's all procedure, policy, but they are still humans, right? Okay. So, patients at a Brighton doctor's surgery where at least one member of, excuse me, coronavirus. No, I'm just joking. That's not funny. Where at least one member of staff has tested positive for coronavirus are urgently being traced, as 4 people in the city were confirmed to have the killer virus from China. And this is in Britain. So Oak County Medical Center has been shut down, sealed off, and is being cleaned with a team of hazmat suits this afternoon because of an urgent operational health and safety concern. A British super spreader is feared to have infected at least 11 people with the coronavirus he picked up in Singapore, prompting emergency testing of hundreds of people on his flights, alpine ski break, and even staff in his local pub. So his local watering hole where he goes to drink, even people there are being tested. The member of Oak County staff said he tested positive for the coronavirus Tuesday, and a second healthcare worker has also been infected. They are suspected to both be doctors at the same place. What? So the health commission refused to reveal the patient's jobs, how many people had come in contact with the worker, or whether they were on a skiing holiday with the super spreader in late January. Dr. Sanier, who owns the chalet in the Alps with the British super spreader, stayed 2 weeks ago, was a partner at the surgery until last summer, but works there as a intern, as just works on and off. According to the medical center's website. So she is believed to be infected with the coronavirus and having treatment at the Royal Free Hospital.
Hello, this
London.
is Robert. I'm an attorney here at Tax Resolution Professional.
Shut up, Robert. Okay. Her environmental consultant husband, Bob, and their 9-year-old son are in quarantine in a French hospital after being exposed to the virus by their guest from Hubei. So this super spreader just infected. This is 11 people that they know of. That's for sure. This one person infected 11 people. They chained that down and tracked people from him. But those people that he it just fucking wildfire. You can't track that now because he was on flights. He was flying, and there's now 2 suspected cases of coronavirus on the flight that came back. Or I think they're basically confirmed, but they have to wait for the secondary analysis. But they test positive on the first test, and that was the people that came back from Wuhan on the U.S. flight, when they evacuated people out, there was 2 infected people on there. Know that now. And if there was 2 infected people on there and there was people on there who didn't have it before, they probably have a pretty goddamn good chance that they have this now. Because they know even if you're just breathing, this thing will stay in the air. And it doesn't take much. You just gotta breathe that in, and you can get it through the eyes. You can pick it up through the eyes. Through the Lancet. The Lancet has put a published thing. Infectious droplets and bodily fluids can easily contaminate the human eye, really. So, but this thing, you can get it through your eyes, but it will infect your respiratory system. You don't need to breathe this in. You just need to come in contact with it. Through your eyes, or mouth, or nose, or ears. Anything that has an opening that can readily get in your inner workings. Right? So, and the eyes, they said, yes, it is transmissible through the eyes. You can pick the, if somebody's breathing on you and you can feel their breath in your face, you got it. You would have it. This thing is ridiculously contagious. Okay, and it's again, it's not to freak anybody out or cause panic, but you need to know this. Because I know this. And if I gotta know it, you gotta know it. So, a member of the County Oak staff has tested positive for the coronavirus today, and a second healthcare worker has also been infected. They are suspected to both be doctors at the Brighton Surgery. So anyway, yeah, like they are, well, look, eyes. You know what I mean? If this thing is even in there floating around on the door, like, they still haven't found a way to completely kill this yet either. They say alcohol and hydrogen peroxide and some kind of salt-based sulfur or sulfate mixed in with it is showing that the counts are going down, but it's not completely wiping it out, right? But it's hard to kill. It's very hard to kill. And you know, this is the 2 people here, right? And well, I guess they're, yeah. So, how the virus raced around the world from one man. Well, this guy comes to Singapore, lands there, and people on the plane, these people are going to be infected. So, one British businessman attends conference at the Grand Hotel in Singapore. Right? Then, January 24th, he travels to a French ski resort. Gonna have a holiday, you know, made the business deal, signed the papers, celebrate. Businessman from East Sussex returns to the UK, calls the health center after receiving a warning over conference coronavirus fears and tests positive for the virus. Then, on February 7th, 5 staff at the pub that he went to were told to self-isolate. Then, on February 8th, 5 Britons staying at the same chalet test positive for the virus. He infected everybody in that place that he was at, which would lead you to say, if you're on that airplane, you could definitely infect the whole place. One person, but he's a super spreader. This guy's a little different than other people, right? But we don't know how many super spreaders there are. You know, but this guy's definitely a super spreader because he just infected, like, he's ridiculously infectious, like shedding virus, like just everywhere on everything. And we know that it lives on surfaces now as well. So, February 8th, 5 Britons, yes. So they got it. February 8th, again, 4 members from the British family hospitalized after contact with the carrier at the French ski resort. So these people went into hospital right after that. And on February 9th, a British man from the Morocco family tested positive for coronavirus and is placed in isolation. So he's a family member and he tested and he's positive. Like, this guy just is like, he really is. Like, you can see how like a really woolly dog or a really fluffy dog sheds on furniture or sheds on your car seats, or, you You know, if you go to, like I was saying, go to a friend's house and you like sit on their couch, you're covered in the dog fur, right? It's exactly like that. He's shedding virus just everywhere, but you can't see it. Can't. But just envision it like a shedding dog. Really. That's how it works. So, fourth coronavirus case is confirmed in Britain. A contact of the businessman infected in Singapore. Oh, this guy in Singapore is also infected. But anyway, it's just a vicious chain of reaction. It's just like and you can't stop it. Once almost 2 people are infected, you almost can't even stop it. Because those 2 people are going to infect 8 people. And those 8 people are going to infect 32 people. And it's not like, you know, once one person gets this, you know, we don't know how long it takes once you first come in contact before you start being contagious or getting that, right? We know that some of the symptom or the gestation period, the time it takes, is between 1 and 14 days. That's, you know, that's either all or nothing. So that's what the World Health Organization says, right? And it's the same thing with the RO value. The RO value gave at a 1.3 and a 4.9, which is a 4.9 is just not a chance. Not a chance. Nothing. Wouldn't. But most scientists are saying it's a 4. So a 4.08 is actually what the latest report coming in was. So we could say, like, be conservative and say 3.5. This thing is still ridiculously vicious. Like, it really is. Meaning that one person can infect 3.5 people. And those 3.5 people will all infect 3.5 people. And it just branches out and just gets exponentially bigger each time. It doesn't continue on a steady pace. It does spike. It spikes every time it transmits. It spikes again. All those people are going. It's very hard to contain. Super hard. And China, the way that it is, they can't contain it. We're throwing all our resources at it. We're throwing everything we have. I don't know. Maybe we're not, but it sure seems like it. For giving them supplies and all this. Yes, I know we need to help them and do that, but, you know, are you going to use the last of your drinking water, put out a forest fire that you can't put out? It's like, do you know what I mean? Is it that far gone? Well, they've tested 300 people on the cruise ship, and 70 people came back positive. If there's 70 people that are infected on that cruise ship, fucking wildfire. There's no way to contain it. And everybody who didn't have it before probably would have it now because they're in isolation in the rooms and the air is just circulating. It is mixed with fresh air, but it's also got stagnant air that is fucking just circulating around from cabin to cabin to cabin. And this thing is just, you can't envision it. If you were like smoking a cigarette or a big cigar in a room, and you know what I mean? Every breath you take is just exhaling more of this. Everything you touch, you're just spreading it. It is vicious. And I'm trying to paint the picture because this is how it is. And it's not meant to freak people out, but you need to be informed about how fucking contagious this thing is. One person, and he infected, that they know of on paper. It's probably hundreds, if not thousands by now, because those people that got it that didn't know they have it or still might not know they have it are still spreading this right now. And they're spreading it to those other people, spreading it to other people. Fucking chain reaction. And it's bad. And how bad is it? Well, we don't know. The death rates, like if this thing is just contagious and you can work over it, which highly seems unlikely, I think once you get this, got it, and nothing that they can do for you. The doctor, Li Wenliang, he spoke out about the whole thing. CNN did a cover on him and a news report and a big thing, and he's a hero in China. He was one of the doctors that was first arrested by the police and told to sign. Him and his colleagues were forced to sign an order that they could not talk about it online, spread rumors or false information. That's what they were told. And then he contracted the virus, and they couldn't save the doctor. He was 34 years old. He was healthy, perfectly healthy doctor, and he succumbed to it. This thing isn't age demographically like targeted. Like most people say, oh, it's only affecting, kids and older people, women mostly. Or no, this affects everybody. And once you get it, you got it. And all they can do is give you supplemental help. It's not gonna cure you. You might come out of the symptoms. A lot of people do first times, right? They get it and then they get sick again. That's when they require hospitalization. And it's just constant fucking like supportive breathing and like injections to keep all your organs going, because it shuts your organs down. This thing doesn't just cause pneumonia. The cause of death is multi-organ failure. That's right from the World Health Organization. Look it up. I'm not going to tell you, but I will tell you where it's at in their technical update. It's their technical update on coronavirus, and transmission and incubation 58.40. So 58 minutes 40 seconds technical briefing, and they say that those exact words. So we don't know what this, we still don't, but we've just put officially boots on the ground today in China. Yes, inspectors went there the first time. Inspectors went there on like the 23rd or the 2nd January to go to Wuhan's hospital before they shut. This is before the lockdown. Okay, well, the inspectors went there. Inspectors came back. Inspector got sick. Yeah. And this is published in The Lancet. On January 22nd, member of the National Expert Panel on Pneumonia reported that he was infected by the coronavirus during an inspection in Wuhan. He wore his mask but contracted it through the eyes. Several days later, before the onset pneumonia, Wang complained about redness of the eyes. This thing will infect your body through eyes. A mask is not going to help you. That's why everybody's saying now on the news, the masks are not going to help the public. If you have this, yes, you should have a mask on. Have this, like I am a hermit in my house. I'm not going outside. I don't give a fuck. Maybe I'm crazy. I hope so, but I don't trust this thing one bit. I don't. And you can't see it. You don't know who has it. You don't know how long. Like, there's so much unknowns. And I'm not going to be a fucking statistic. I'm going to try my best not to be. I want to live so I can see, maybe the post-apocalyptic journey afterwards. I don't know. This thing is serious, and yeah, I'm going a little left field, but at the same time, really, it is no laughing matter, because it's happening. It really is. And there's no way right now in China, right now, there's no way we can stop it. In the US, other places and other countries, you know what we're waiting on? Concrete scientific evidence. That's what it is. Because unless the World Health Organization has concrete data to share with all the other countries around the world, you're not going to get everybody on board on this, right? You just can't say, well, we think it's like this, we don't really know. That's not going to work on the fucking highest levels of protocol. Just not going to fly, because you know what? People want to keep the economy going. People want to keep their markets going. People want to keep the trade going. They're going to fight against that. They're going to be like, well, why are we going to shut all our shit down if you can't even prove to us what this is? So they can't make any statements. But if you listen very closely to they are saying volume. They really are. And they circle conversation and they just beat around the bush a lot because, yes, they are the highest up. And they have to set the fucking precedence, right? They are, everything flows down from them. You know, it does. So they got to be very careful what they say and how they address the public. And I know we all watch these and we're like, oh my God, you guys are fucking idiots. But they're not. But this is what they have to release, and they have to be very careful with what they say. Because you don't want to panic the public in a real situation. Right? If it wasn't so real and it wasn't so dire, they wouldn't care. Because, you know, it's not real. But if it is real, they can't afford to have the public panic. Because they will lose it before they get a chance to fight it. Right? So, it's big. And you can guarantee it's big. And what I've been really racking my brain around is these cruise ships. There's so much misinformation on these cruise. Okay, let's just check out the numbers. And this one here was the one that they released everybody. It was also docked in Japan. And they released those people knowing that they were in fact affected. Or at least some of them. But they released them. I don't know why I know this. Because they said they tested 1,800 people in 4 days. Okay, on this here, the World Dream. Now you got the World Dream and the Princess Diamond are different. Princess Cruises owns the other one. Okay, but World Dream. Okay. They said that they tested 1,800 staff members, and there's multiple reports on that. 18. But yet they've only tested 300 less. We'll say for sure less than 500 tests so far. And the other ship's been there for over fucking 7 days. And they've only got less than 500 tests complete. How did they test 1,800 people in 4 days when they can't even test over 500 people in almost 8 days? Actually, it is. I was like, as soon as I seen 1,800, I was like, what? No way. There's no way. And everybody came up negative? No way. Okay, so also, what really sticks out a sore thumb in this multiple discrepancies between the numbers from the infected people who were previously on this ship. There are confirmed, let's just say, an unknown number of people, because they are saying 3 people on the previous voyage, and another outlet is saying 3 people, but then another outlet is saying 8 people, and Time Magazine or New York Times is saying 8 people. So you got 2 news sources saying that there's 8 people previously infected, and then you got other people saying there's 3 people infected. They let them go. The reason why they let them go is because they can't handle that situation right now. They can't even handle that one fucking cruise ship. If they could confirm cases, if they had to confirm cases, they would have to quarantine that ship too and send a whole fucking another supplies and everything to that ship, right? They don't have the resources now to handle the one. They can't fucking handle 2. They just came on and said, hey, yeah, everybody's good. See you later. Bye. Because they realize the gravity of the situation right now, and they can't release anything to the public, right? Nobody can really say anything, sure, but some people are, right? But the mainstream media isn't reporting on it because they will get their fucking asses kicked. They got, you know, I'm sure directives from the highest up to be like, listen, don't be running fucking scare tactic stories or like, you know what I mean? Or anything that's gonna think that this is a bad situation. You know, give them the numbers, give them the actual numbers that are printed. But we all know those numbers are way fucking like, and it is way off. But the general population, they just look at them and I'll just take that for what it is. Those are exact numbers. You know? No, no, no. No, it's not. So this one here says 3 people. Why was the ship quarantined? The World Dream was put in quarantine on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. So till today would have been like 5 days, right? But yesterday they tested 1,800 people in 4 days. But anyways, after it emerged that 3, that's right, read it, 3 passengers. And now let's see what else. You know, this one is from BBC News, right? They say 3 passengers. And it's everybody's got a different fucking take on this. Forbes magazine, they are reporting 3 former passengers. Business Insider, they are reporting 8 infected passengers who tested positive. All right, and where was the other one? Of course. Los Angeles Times. The World Dream. Oh my God, you're not gonna do The World Dream cruise ship. I don't know if I lost my connection there, but anyways, yeah, World Dream cruise ship operated. Dream Cruises remained docked in Hong Kong Thursday. South China Morning Post reported 1,800 passengers and crew remain confined to the ship, which was turned away from Taiwan after the revelation that it had carried at least 8 infected passengers to Hong Kong and Vietnam late January. Oh yeah. You got 2 people saying it's 3, and 2 people saying it's 8. I'm gonna go. I'll say 80. I'll fucking say 80. If there's 18, those 18 people infected at least fucking 4 people each. Actually, 80. But you see where I'm going with this. This thing is viciously fucking contagious. And we know that you can get false negatives. We know that now. We know that from the woman, Toronto, Ontario, and the doctor, Dr. Wei-Lin Yang. He tested negative 4 times before finally testing positive and then dying. It's in a medical fucking journal. It is. They tested him 4 times before it showed up. And I don't know what the numbers are on the cruise ship now, but I think the last time I checked there were 70, but they did 300 tests and 70 people are infected. You know, we could pretty well say that's still a third, because when they did the first test, they screened 31 people. They took 31 tests and actually they took 273 tests, but out of the first 31 that came back, 10 were positive. That's a third again, right? So it's basically staying around the third mark. You know, we got 70 infected and there's like 300 tested so far. And we know this does come up false negatives. Yeah, the 20-year-old woman from Toronto, she came back, tested negative, but she could have picked it up on the flight. All right, she might not have had it, but then contracted it on the flight, because when she got back from Wuhan, she tested negative coming back into Toronto, and then they let her go. 36 hours later, she didn't feel good. She went back and she tested positive. So either it wasn't set into her system at that time, or she contracted it on the flight, which most likely she contracted it on the flight. We don't know how bad this is. We really don't. And you can only assume that there is probably tens of thousands already infected in the States and Canada. And we're just not seeing the numbers right yet, because people it's such mild symptoms at first that people aren't really reporting this. Another week or two, and you're going to see it start rolling out. Because this thing takes a little while to catch on. Right? It does. And once you start seeing the cases pile up, like there's already people out there currently infecting others everywhere. And they infected people. They infected. Can't stop it. Unless everybody segregates. The only way. Yeah, he's got a big.
You hit it hard. Have to get.
Take it. Always almost my. Just get rolling, and he's like, "Hey, guess what?" So, yeah, it's to contain this thing, we need to really, on a global level, segregate and just take a time out. No, please. Yeah, see what but we have to do. Stop being a butthead.
I'm not being a butthead. Don't say it as him.
Yeah. So.
Whoa.
Okay. Seriously. I'm actually trying to like talk, and that's nice. And
ready
thank
for
you.
the jump?
You'll be ready for it. Okay, come on, quick. Your butt. See, I'll never get this done because the forces that be are just like no, kind of like. Yeah. So, and here's this one: scientists predict novel coronavirus may live up to 9 days on surfaces, but that's not this particular strain. They're predicting. But the past ones, yes, they do live on surfaces. So, it's probably quite actually 100%, well, 99% possible that this one can at least stay on surfaces for a little while, given how infectious that it actually is, and how many people are contracting this. Yeah, there's just so much, right? And China's just like censoring. Oh, yeah, we know that. Let's just go check just for fun. Let's just go look at the numbers that don't matter. It's just, yeah. You know what's funny that the deaths are barely even rising. I don't. Please. I don't wanna make my body go. So you can get this through the eyes. If you can get it through the eyes, then you can probably give it through the eyes. If you rub your eyes, you know what I mean, and touch something, it'd be just like you licking your fingers, touching something. it would be it'd be more concentrated, right? And there's been some big, blowback from this paper. And everybody's like flipping out. Oh no, you can't say things like that. You can't claim those. This paper is just the first of its kind, and it's only been done at two of the world's most universities with a group of biomathematicians and fucking virologists and super fucking geniuses, right? Like, no, you can't. Don't worry about this report. Basement fucking backdoor. It was a real study. It was a real study, and they took it off the internet, off Twitter. If you're not aware of it, this was making headlines. This is what made everybody blow up and be like, "Oh my god, it's a bioweapon!" So they had to conceal that, really, because it's most likely a bioweapon. That's why they don't want anybody talking about it. So these guys, everything just. But anyways, this here paper is on the coronavirus. It's an actual study. And of course, it is not. Dude, a reminder, these are preliminary reports that have not been peer-reviewed and should not be regarded as conclusive. But it's all we have. And it came from 2 universities in New Delhi. Star Wars. Oh. And it's an uncanny similar inserts. Unique inserts. Let's go through this for a second, and I'll show you why I support the theory that this is not man-made. Or sorry, that this is not nature. Like, this is not made by nature. Made. Or there is probably, like, let's say a 1% chance that nature just took a fucking year, like, into the future on the evolutionary chain. That's the only way, right? This is in fact real. Coronaviruses are a single-stranded positive sense RNA virus. Buzz. They melt on. Okay. It is. There's all kinds of. Okay. I swear to God, as soon as I get into something, hey, or if I go to do something, it's like, hey. Kids are like that, right? They just know. No, you're trying to do something. Because they're like, haha, fuck you. I'm just gonna fuck with your shit. But it seems like that. Who knows? He's awesome. But it's just because I'm trying to do this. Anyway, back to it. So, you're single-stranded positive RNA viruses. This is what coronaviruses are, the class of. And they infect and humans. They are classified into 4 genre-based. So, for their host specificity. So, there's ones that are more known to affect mammals, different types of animals, right? It's just different hosts, viruses. So, there are 7 types of POV, and all those from like SARS and MERS. Different types, right? These are same class, right? Not saying. Well, in December 2019, another outbreak. So this is the new coronavirus. Happened in China and transmitted. They're saying from animals to humans. Okay? This new virus has temporarily been termed novel coronavirus, World Health Organization. While there are several hypotheses, origin, source of this ongoing outbreak, exclusive. No possible hypothesis. Now, transmission patterns are similar transmissions documented in this outbreak, including bodily or aerosol contacts with infected with the virus. So meaning you can just be breathing the air in that room and you breathe it in that plane or on that bus. Somebody might be infected, but you have a very okay. So cases of mild to severe illness and death from infection have been reported from on. You got to realize these with the actual right. So they, and we know numbers are off. They got mathematical equations to adjust for the variables, but even then, okay. So they're saying that this spike of glycoprotein coronavirus cleaved into two subunits, S1 and S2. Okay, and the glycoprotein, what is going to allow the virus to attach itself. It's going to be able to recognize. It's like a computer. You can't run a Windows 98 computer program on, let's say, a Windows 10 system. It's not going to recognize. Same thing as a virus. It won't recognize the cell to be able to put the program in it. Same thing as a computer program onto the hard disk. It has to recognize, write it. So that's what these little proteins, right? And they're saying that these little proteins are from HIV strain, which means that it increases the infectability, because the HIV strain, it has a very diverse, it can infect more people, right? It infects everybody, not culture or your ethnic background, which viruses infect more than others, right? Your family tree is going to have theology that is going to roll in this. But this is saying that it doesn't matter. There's no holds barred. If you touch, it gets in you, it will in fact affect you. It's like most viruses still can get into your system, but they might not affect your cells unless you're coming into contact with it, flu or something. This here, it is, if you get it in you, even the smallest amount will infect yourself, and it starts replicating and making copies of it. So these glycoproteins, these are critical targets for vaccine development, right? Because also these want to be, this here is the point of contact on your, is like the claw that's going to allow it to take your cell and put a program message into it and replicate a copy of itself. I was just being all doctory stuff and okay, give me 5 minutes. I will be back. We'll get into this and I'll get them set. All right. All right. Thanks for waiting around. If you did, he's got some snacks now. He's good to. Awesome. So back into this. But these proteins. Now, what they're saying, and it's not peer reviewed, but it's world's leading universities that study this time of stuff. Right? It came from India, University of New Delhi, and I think it was. But anyway, regardless where. It was done with the world's top scientists, right? Guys, this is so these proteins, right? So we therefore thought to investigate the spike glycoprotein to understand its evolution. Meaning, how did this get in there? Like how did this coronavirus evolve, get these proteins? HIV. Now, I'm not saying that it is the HIV virus. No, it's like if you were to take tires off of one car, tires and rims off one car and put them on another car. That doesn't mean that car is a Ford. Tires on, kind of thing. They took a part of the HIV virus, just the S proteins, glycoprotein, attach them to the virus so that it can recognize more cells and more hosts, meaning it's more effective affecting, right? So these proteins basically like claws. It does, and it's the same thing as like a program. You can't try to run like a Windows 98 program on a fucking Windows 10 system. Not going to recognize it. Or like, you can't put in a Nintendo video game in a PlayStation 4. It's just not going to, it's just not compatible. And that's why they would enhance the protein so it would recognize a more wide variety. It's like backwards compatibility on like fucking, it not only recognizes one host, it'll recognize the whole volume of hosts, and it's able to affect it. Definitely infect you if you hit it. It will recognize your cell and attach to it. Most viruses have a hard time trying to find host replicate. Right? What it does, it reprograms the cells. Make fucking twisted. It's almost like it is on the DNA level, RNA level. This is an RNA based virus, so it attaches to utmost inner work. DNA based viruses not so bad because like this scratching the paint on your car, it's not going to matter really about how your car operates, but it's going to scarring or have little effects. But this here gets right into your sense, right? Like it gets right down into chromosome. But all the coronaviruses are RNA. Right? So if you were to make a virus and you wanted to infect a lot of people, probably use coronavirus base because there is a family already. It goes into a lot of stuff, but anyways, blah 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 blah. I'm just rambling now, but it's something that you would want to have in like for your toolbox if viruses, because it's an RNA based virus. So down into the topical virus, like virus that's this here gets in and plus the, well, this is failure that die from it. So it gets into your inner workings and shuts you down. So on careful examination sequence, we found white glycoprotein four insertion insert. So then, to further investigate these inserts, are present. They're not. To further investigate if these inserts are present in any other coronavirus, we of the spike glycoprotein amino acids. So they ran a test to see if anything matched in the database that had the same type of it, and they found nothing. Nothing that getting close to it. We found these four insertions are unique and are not present in other coronavirus. And another group from China had documented insertions carrying fewer spike like. Another group from China had documented spike. So meaning that there was a couple that were close, but this is completely own, and tiny little variations of viruses, huge differences. It completely changes how they affect all this little. Here's an expanded overview, and here you can see these are the insertion points. Oh. then so they analyzed all the sequences available, and as most of these are not annotated, paired nucleotide sequence, like it's a bunch of science stuff, paired it and they found nothing. That's why they called it the coronavirus, because new coronavirus. There's nothing like. And then, so surprisingly, so each of our four inserts lined short segments of the human virus, but it's the protein virus, it's not the virus itself. They pieces of it. This is what it. So. So, although all four inserts represent continuous short sketches of acids, like glycoprotein, the fact that all three of them share acid identity similarity with ATP suggests that this is not a random gratuitous. In other words, one may radically expect to find a match for a sketch of 6 to 12 contagious acid residues unrelated protein. However, it is unlikely that all four inserts in novel coronavirus spike glycoprotein gratuitously match structural any unrelated virus. So, and fortuitously, I had to look, which means by chance, meaning rather by default, meaning this didn't happen by chance, happened by design, and that's why everybody out, because you can read this paper, scientists. Sometimes I like, but I'm not in it, and it's so yeah, and there goes my train of thought. So yeah, damn it. Gotta go. I'd. So anyways, my train of thought's gone. So yeah, they didn't find these. Didn't happen. Like, in order for nature to do this, it had to jump. Evolution is a happen like, and when this paper first came out, it caused a big uproar because the way that it came out, the test, well, it all started at the Doherty, where they were able to grow the virus live, and they did this England or no, Australia. And they were able to grow this. What they did, that was a live, viable specimen. That was the had. Nobody else was able. He took this, sent it, post, best people try to analyze. They only sent it to one of those best, India. Of course, they are forefront doctors. So they come out with this, they get the virus and they top team. I think there's like 12 in there. This is the paper out with. And then there's an Indian journalist or a columnist and also a book writer. Gets a hold of this paper because he probably has like virus went there and like public figure as well, and probably has access to question about out. When is it like hot off the press? Like he was the first one. Like I'm pretty sure like World Health Organization got a copy and then got a copy right after. And he posted it to his Twitter account. And it got shared like 1,000 hours. And like we got like 30,000 followers and like, people were just going bananas, being like, oh my god, it's a bioweapon, oh my god, holy fuck. So they had to shut it down, right, real quick. They had to put a cap on this, and all of a sudden, all these stories started coming in like, no, it's, don't, no. And everybody's like, it's not even a published paper. It's like, well, no, it takes months, if not years, to publish. But definitely, right? And months isn't something that we have right now. No, we don't have time. Edit 100. But all we have, and it came from medical science, with the world's best fucking people, and they came up, and then it came out into the public eye. Well, gone. Fucking shut that down because it was getting out of hand, and they didn't have any answers for anybody. They couldn't answer to say if it was or if it, so they just, and it was never talked about. Then they started going all this fake media, talking about fake media. What? They just said, gotta be careful. There's fake media. Oh, there's a lot of fake stories. Yeah, we know that. That's not an incorrect statement. That's all they said. There's a lot of fake media out there. You gotta watch it. That could result, anything. It wasn't specific virus. They might have hinted at it, but this paper is. You know why? They can't. They can't say that because it's an actual study, and it's as real as we can get, and it says that it's unnatural. So let's question. We'll try it. So the current outbreak warrants a thorough investigation and ability to affect humans, keeping in mind that there has been a change in preference of host from previous viruses to this virus, meaning like there is a clear change, meaning that this thing is definitely more infectious than humans. So we studied the change in the protein, found 4 insertions of the S protein compared to the nearest relative SARS family genome sequence for the 28 clinical isolates showed that the sequence coding for are served amongst all these isolates. So they're the same. This indicates that these insertions have been preferably acquired. So you know what I mean? Like these thought out characteristic. Meaning that nature probably didn't, right? So diving deeper, we found that these only results highlight an astonishing relationship glycoprotein, other amino acid protein, HIV. So these proteins are critical for the virus to identify and latch on to cells viral assembly, meaning these proteins are basically just super clean on your cell. They get in your will. Most hosts don't. It's hard for viruses. But infectious enough. Infectious is the same because it has been changed, right? Like meaning this thing has ability to infect multiple hosts, not just animals, sea creatures. Don't know, but these proteins are critical for the virus to identify and latch on one of their host cells' viral assembly. Since certain proteins are responsible for host tropism, changes in proteins imply a change in host specificity of the virus. So meaning why they changed proteins was so that it could infect more, meaning it's more contagious. That's why we're seeing so many people coming off infected, but they won't detect some people because they are in. You can still getting it. F and stuff is sitting. It's not. It's lining up on the main. Oh, of course, and World Health Organization. Oh, we need more information. Oh, we just put boots on the ground today in China. Hard to believe. Expert time. Okay. This was reported firstly December. It did send an inspection to go in 2nd January, and one of those doctors hot virus dies. January 22nd, a member of the National Expert Panel on Pneumonia affected by the coronavirus during infection wore a mask but did not wear any. Later, the onset pneumonia, complained redness of the eyes. Unprotected exposure of the eyes might have allowed this virus to affect the body. This is the link. That's a legit published paper. Get it through the. This is. But we haven't seen any more studies on it. Where's the other study? Where's the studies refuting it? Like, where are those coming out? They would have replicated over. They still say the World Health Organization calling on the world's top scientists. They are actually all actively involved in trying. But every point, everything is now action. not natural. China has been more than anybody should try to cover. But we got experts are led by a team of experts. Just all I know, and he's going in there leading the team with boots on the ground to see. I think we're going to be getting an up, and it's going. That's mine. But moving ahead. Excuse me. Our analysis of the spike glycoprotein with several interesting findings. First, we identified 4 unique that are not present in coronavirus report to date. Our surprise, all the 4 inserts mapped to short segment amino acids, glycoprotein, amino acid among the annotated virus protein. So they ran it against virus in. Oh, there's no. This uncanny similarity, novel coronavirus spike protein, unlikely to be. And just so you guys all exactly. Happening by accident or chance rather than it unlikely to be by chance, but rather that's the paper that I read about. Oh my god, it's fake, it's fake. No, it's not fake. It's a real fucking study. And it's the best one we have. And they just wiped that thing off. Right? It went down quick. The fellow who posted it. Yeah. He was forced to take fast. But it didn't come down off the course. Didn't come down. Of course, is a biology fair where like it's biorxiv.org, and it's a database server for the academic community, right? And a lot of people seen this. Now, if they would have cut it sooner, they might have been able to. A lot of people. Then it did come down off the back up. This article has been drawn by the authors, but since the server, yes, the authors with time, they gotta keep it. But it does come with it says a reminder, these are preliminary, not be conclusive. No. It is, but what is conclusive at this point in time, really? So, where are we at here? You know, this is the best thing we got. This is actual, you know, and these, like this guy here, he was, I can't pronounce his name, but he was from the School of Biological Sciences. This guy here, same thing, place, same kind of guy here, biological science, biological. Ellie. This one here is from the Kuma School of Biological. You guys are all real. All their correspond. It's a real paper. Paper's not fake. It's not conclusive because they didn't run any more tests on it. This is what they came out. The test said, hey, this. Focused down about it. And here's another article about virus surfaces. Activation with biological. This here, study they did not peer-reviewed and it's not confirmed, but it is a study, and they say to kill this way, it can be effective inactivated by surface disinfection. 60% ethanol, 0.5% hydrogen peroxide, and 0.1% within 1 minute. Other biological agents, such as benzalkonium chloride, chlorohexadiene, diglycate, are also effective, but I don't know where. But I'm sure we can get some ethanol and hydrogen peroxide. At least it's some kind of defense, right? It's something scientific have about how, don't drink it. Just I'm gonna go for a, and if you got them, I'm gonna go back to this. Yeah, my brain is just so overflowing with for my browsers. So, we'll get back to this, and we'll get to the bottom of it. One way or another, whether it comes knocking on the door first or we on the internet. Sure, we all know what we're all still with official news. Of course, and you got to. Right? It's all speculation until it's at this point. It's highly probable, but worse than possibly imagine. And no, see it. Protect yourself. Don't panic. Don't freak out. That's not what it's about. Informing you. Going to see. Fucking sure. I'm just going to provide you with what I see best as I can, with best data as I can. There's nothing on it, really, but there's stuff out there if you look. I will be back. everybody. Hey, I'm actually going to end this stream. Sorry about that. I'm going to start another one. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it up. I'm gonna try and keep the stream short, so we're not going to hours and hours of them. Hard for people to get the information if gotta watch hours and hours. Try and streamline this one.